Welcome to Honey Street Live.
We're your hosts, Carl and Nikki Smith, and we discuss a variety of topics from marriage to health and family life.
We thank you for listening and trust you enjoy.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Honey Street Live. And today I want to talk about something that I've been doing and practicing for the last year or so. Started about 18 months ago with a little bit of interest, and then really stepped it up a year ago, and pretty much have been practicing now for the best part of 11 months, pretty solid. I'm talking about the Wim Hof method of breathing. I encountered this feisty Dutchman online when I was doing yoga and work like that, and watched the item on Vice, and I'll put a link in the description for that for those that haven't seen it. And it really struck me as he is talking about something that is very relevant and costs nothing to do and can change your life. So I started with the breathing technique, and so there's three structures to the Wim Hof method. It's breathing, cold water, and discipline. And all of those three things, when you combine them together, are quite staggering. Now we think breathing, we breathe all the time, but do we really breathe? And what Wim talks about is bringing your breath right to the very bottom and then pulling it right up and doing 30 cycles of these very long deep breaths, fully in, but not forcing it out, just letting it out. Then fully in, letting it out. You very quickly, after about breath 10 or 12, you'll start getting slightly lightheaded, and you just got to push through that. That's fine. On the 30th breath, you let out, and then you go for retention. When you first start, you think, oh, I can't do more than 15 seconds, but very quickly you develop this ability to not hold the panic, to let go of the panic. But by the time you've done you usually do these in sets of 3. So by the time you've done your third set of breaths, so breath, retention, there's a breath in and then a hold and squeeze for 15 seconds of that breath to pull it up, a breath out, another 30 cycles, and then breath and retention again. And so what this does is by the time you get to your third set, you're really in the zone, and your retentions can get really long. I think my longest retention is, and I was timing for a while, I don't bother with that now, but my longest retention was nearly 4 minutes. About 3 minutes 45, I think, as a retention. You get ringing in your ears, tinnitus, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Don't panic about that. You get, but what you get is a deep trip inside yourself, and it's a stillness that you don't often get during the day. You know, we're so busy, people coming at us, running in all directions. So it's very exciting to do this. I started off with the breathing, and we arrived in Western Australia, and we'll talk a little bit about my journey in another video, to Western Australia from New Zealand. And of course it's not that cold here, you know, it got down to 1 or 2 degrees I think in the middle of the winter, but it's still cold enough when you go to have a shower or a cold bath. And it was that process of actually doing the cold water which was the hardest, mentally really tough. So I'd start off in the shower, I'd have a warm shower, and I'd slowly reduce the heat down, and the first few times I did cold water it was like, holy heck, what's happening here? But one day, you know, like through some of the stuff that Wim does on the site, you can download the app, it's free, and there's a subscription element, and there's courses you can do. It's really, really well resourced. And there's a thing you can do called the horse dance, which you sort of get down on your sort of haunches and really bring your energy up. And so the first time I did a complete cold shower, just turned the cold on, did the horse dance, got in, did my breathing first, jumped in the cold water, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. And that night I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my body, I had this terrible metallic taste in my body, and it was just like all the stress, and I had to get up and wash my mouth out. It was just like all the stress just flowing out of my body. I felt incredibly well, incredibly good, and it was just like my body was just purging itself of stress. The next time I did a cold shower in the morning, I just felt so invigorated all day. And when I'm saying cold, the water was probably 12, 13 degrees, maybe there or thereabouts. But when it comes in the shower, it sort of atomizes on your body, and it's pretty cold. Since then, I've done cold water plunges and things like that. It's insane. It's very, very good and healthy for you. What Wim talks about in this is the ability to access your parasympathetic nervous system. Now that's the one that is flight or fright or fight, fright, flight and fight. And what he does is that ability to actually access that, and it gives you that control over your mind and your body reactions. At the time that I started going through this, it was a very stressful time. We relocated from New Zealand to Australia to start a new job. Unfortunately, the company we relocated to went into receivership and was subsequently sold. All my teammates back in New Zealand lost their jobs, and with the company takeover, and then it sort of flowed through very quickly. After 6 months of being here, I lost my job as well with that company. But it was quite amazing because I was really able to just be very still inside myself and know that, it's okay. It's a job. We can find something else. Fortunately, the company that picked up the distribution rights for the product that I was selling here in Australia employed me as well. So I've been very grateful. Now we're in a totally new scene of stress. People are losing their jobs. They're losing their money. I've still retained my job for the moment, and that's fantastic, and I'm so grateful for that. And it looks like now that we're coming out the other side that we might be able to sustain what we were doing, and I'm sure hope we do, because I love what I do. But being able to control the stress, being able to do the breathing, there's been times when I've come home or when we've been locked up and I've just felt really, really stressed, and I'll just say to my wife, I'm just going to go and do some breathing. Put my earphones on, do the breathing. There's a lot of different breathing techniques you can do. I'll put some links in the description. You can do that. But go deep inside yourself. It's really, really life-changing. It's worthwhile doing. And I, for one, can testify to the fact that it has been life-changing. So that's all I want to talk about at the moment. Happy to answer any questions at all. And just to say, I've had one warm shower, and I know it's summertime, it's really hot over here, but still getting into a cold shower is unnerving. But I've had one warm shower probably in the last 9-10 months. And cold showers, doesn't matter if I get up in the morning or if I go to bed at night, I always have a cold shower. Saving power, hey, it's good. And doing the breathing, the meditation with that. So that's it from me on this. Happy to answer any questions and happy to talk about it, and it's fantastic. Give it a shot.